From foothold to impact, the red team mindset beginners miss. You just got a shell. Reverse shell pops. You type, who am I? You're in. And then nothing. You just sit there. Maybe you throw LinPEAS at it. Maybe you open a new tab and start Googling what to do after getting a shell. Maybe you just stare at the terminal and quietly wonder if you're actually cut out for this. If that's been you, and honestly, it's been most of us at some point, this video is going to change something for you. Because that moment right there, that frozen, now what feeling, that's not a skill gap, that's a thinking gap. And today, I'm going to show you exactly what red teamers think about that you're probably not thinking about yet. Whether you're just getting started on Hack the Box, Hack Smarter, or any other CTF platform, or you've been grinding boxes for a few months and still feel like you're going in circles, stick with me. This one's for you. Oh, and real quick, before we get into it, Hack the Box gave me some lab vouchers to give away. I'll drop a question later in the video. Answer it in the comments, and in about 2 weeks, I'll pick a random winner from the correct ones. Let's talk about a pattern I see constantly. I call it the checklist trap. And before anyone gets defensive, this is not about intelligence or how long you've been hacking. Smart people fall into this. I fell into this. It's just what happens when nobody teaches you how to think, only what tools to run. Here's what it looks like in practice. You start a box, you run Nmap, you find some open ports, you throw Gobuster at the web server, you look at the version numbers, search for CVEs, maybe find something. You run Metasploit, land a shell, and then you just start running stuff. You try every privileged escalation exploit you've heard of. You run LinPEAS, and you scan through 400 lines of output, hoping something in yellow tells you what to do next. And if it doesn't work, you open a walkthrough. Sound familiar? Here's the thing. The tools aren't the problem. Nmap is brilliant. LinPEAS is generally useful. The problem is that you're using the tools as a substitute for thinking. You're following a recipe. And the recipe only works when you're cooking the exact dish it was written for. Real engagements don't come with recipes. So what does someone who actually thinks like a red teamer do differently? What's the mental shift that changes everything? A red teamer doesn't start with tools. They start with a question. What am I actually trying to accomplish here? In a real engagement, you're not trying to pull boxes. You're trying to demonstrate impact. You're trying to show a client, here's what a real attacker could do to your business if they got in. Maybe the objective is to reach the domain controller. Maybe it's accessing a sensitive file share. Maybe it's proving that the customer data could be exfiltrated without anyone noticing. The goal is never just, I found vulnerability. The goal is, I can show you what happens when an attacker with a real objective gets inside your network. And here's the part that most beginners skip entirely. Red teamers are thinking about stealth the whole time. Not just, can I get there, but can I get there without anyone knowing I was ever there? Checklist hackers make noise. They drop binaries everywhere. They trigger alerts, they get caught. Red teamers are ghosts. They use the tools that are already on the system. They blend into normal looking traffic. They move slowly and deliberately because getting caught is failing the mission, even if you technically had access. Now, on Hack the Box, there's no blue team watching you, no alerts. You can still practice the mindset. You can still ask the questions a real red teamer would ask, even in a lab. And that practice, that mental habit, is what compounds over time into genuine skill. Which brings me to the most practical piece of this video, the 3 questions. every single time you get a foothold on a lab box in the CTF, wherever, before you touch another tool, ask yourself these 3 questions. Question 1. Where am I? Not just, I'm on a Linux box. Really understand your position. What user am I running as? What do I have access to? What network can I see from here? Are there other machines on the subnet? What services are running internally that weren't visible from the outside? Spend 5 minutes just mapping your situation before you start moving. Orientation before action. Question 2. What do I want? This is the objective question. In a lab, it's a root flag, but train yourself to think beyond that. If this were a real environment, what would actually be valuable here? Is there a database? Are there credentials cached somewhere? Does the machine have a trust relationship with something more important? Knowing your objective before you move makes every decision after it sharper. Question 3. How do you get there without making noise? This is where the red team mindset really kicks in. You're not just looking for a path, you're looking for a quiet path. Can I use built-in system tools instead of dropping a custom binary that might get triggered? Can I abuse legitimate functionality rather than triggering something obvious? What does this activity look like in a log? And would a defender find it suspicious? 3 questions. Where am I? What do I want? How do I get there quietly? That's the whole framework. Run through it every time you get access to something. And I promise, the frozen feeling goes away. Before I tell you how to build this, quick voucher drop. Hack the Box Labs VIP Plus 1-month voucher. The question is on screen. According to this video, what's the first question you should ask yourself after every foothold? Drop GhostShell in the comments with your answer. I'll pick a random winner from the correct answers in about 2 weeks. Here's exactly how to build this into your practice, starting with your next box. Before you run a single enumeration script, open a notes file, grab a piece of paper, whatever, and write down your 3 answers. Physically write them out. Where am I? What's my objective? What's my stealth constraint? Then work the box, and when you're done, come back to what you wrote. Ask yourself, did I actually stay focused on the objective, or did I just start running things? Did I look for quiet paths, or did I take the noisiest option that happened to work? That reflection is where the real growth happens, not in the number of tools you run, in the quality of thinking behind them. Because here's what separates people who actually get hired for red team work from people who just collect certs and grind boxes. It's not the tool stack. Anyone can learn a new tool over a weekend. What you can't shortcut is the ability to look at a solution and think like an adversary with a real objective. That mental model is a skill, and the good news is you can start building it today on any box at any experience level. If this landed for you, and I really hope it did, then you want to keep learning. Watch this video next, where I break down the key differences between pen testing and red teaming in cybersecurity. I'm HaxrByte. Keep hacking.